Hey everybody, Fox 35 Storm Team Meteorologist Laurel Blanchard here with your Thursday evening forecast. Hope everyone is getting ready for the cold that is coming in because it is really going to be frigid out there. Just want to make that clear that it is really going to be cold as we take a look at the next couple of days. Main part of the cold is coming in Sunday and Monday. So those are the two back-to-back days that we are really watching for this frigid cold. We're talking overnight lows in the 20s, and for daily highs, we could even possibly set another record coming up. So that's something that we're going to be watching as we head through the wrap-up of the weekend and start of the work week. But there are a couple of points that we definitely want to make. Taking a look ahead, it's going to be really windy on Saturday ahead of all that cold air surging into the region. And then we're also going to be taking a look at, of course, the frigid cold. So we are live here on Fox Local. We are live here on Facebook. We are live here on YouTube. I'm taking a look at the comments on both YouTube and Facebook. Let us know what you're thinking, what your reaction is to the cold for sure. And question of the day, write your comments in there, write your answers in the comment section. It is going to be pretty crazy over the next couple of days. So again, let us know, what is your favorite way to stay warm in the cold? I'm originally from New England, and when I moved down here to Florida, I left all my winter stuff back at home. So I had to literally have my hats, my gloves, put overnight ship down here, so fingers crossed they should be coming in today. But we are talking all about the Florida freeze. So before we kind of get into the nitty gritty, where this cold is coming from, when it's really going to be moving in, when the worst wind chill is going to be, let us know for sure. And if you have any questions, again, I'm looking at the comments here on Facebook and on YouTube. Looks like we have a great turnout today. Let us know what you're thinking and what we can do to help you prepare for the cold coming in. I think we'll pretty much cover everything, but definitely let us know if you have something else that you would want to ask about over the next couple of days. So again, what is your favorite way to stay warm during this cold? And we are also looking for your questions. Coming up this weekend, we have team coverage on this cold. So scan that QR code if you can. If not, if you're watching on your phone, watching on your work computer, take your cell phone, open up the camera app, and usually on iPhones, if you put the camera right up to the QR code, you should be able to read it. But if you're watching on a smartphone, take a snapshot of it and you'll be able to read the QR code in your photos a little bit later on. So that's kind of what we're looking at over the next couple of days. So that's something that we're going to be watching as we take a look at the next couple of days as we continue to track this Florida cold. And that's what we're going to really be the big story over the next couple, because this is really the record-breaking cold that we're going to have here in Central Florida. So this is what we're looking at, is any questions that you might have, write them in the comments, write them in our megaphone, and we'll definitely answer those coming up in our newscast and in our team coverage coming up over the next couple of days. So first and foremost, let's talk about how crazy this cold is going to be. So we have the potential to break records this weekend. So really the cold surges into the region Saturday night into Sunday morning, and the coldest high on record since data has been kept since 1893. Coldest high, 48 degrees, 1936. Coldest low, 28 degrees, and that was hit twice in 1936 and 1909. And both records may be beat. So I just threw this graphic together right here. And a little bit of a spoiler for 407. So our forecast low for Sunday morning is going to be 24 degrees. And our forecast high for Sunday afternoon is 46 degrees. So that is what we're going to see. And just to remind you of those numbers once again, 48 degrees was our coldest high, and our coldest low is 28 degrees. So we have the potential to beat both of those records taking a look at the next couple of days. So that's kind of what we're looking at for how drastic this cold is really going to be, because this is really a huge cold snap. And so we'll kind of talk about why we're kind of seeing the 1-2 punch when it comes to cold. So there's two systems kind of working in tandem. And again, just to show you how cold it is, we could be possibly setting another record with back-to-back nights of frigid cold temperatures. That's just one of the other reasons why we're going to be tracking this cold and showing you how cold it is going to be as we take a look at the next couple of days. So that's something that we're going to be watching, but to really emphasize how crazy this cold is, it's almost working in tandem with two systems. So let's start off with the highest level up in the atmosphere. So this is where we're looking at the jet stream. So the atmosphere is set up in layers, and usually forecasters, we're told to look at everything. That's looking at the highest level of the atmosphere all the way down to the surface. And that is what this is looking at right here. This is looking high up in the atmosphere where there's big waves, big jet streams, and that controls kind of how warm or cold it is down here at the surface. And we have two players kind of making this drastic cold that we have here in Central Florida. So here we have the jet stream. This is where we're going to be seeing this Arctic air be dipped down into Central Florida this weekend. And you can see this white line right here. This is the 32-degree line. So even with this second player, not even on the board, we're going to see frigid temperatures this weekend anyway. But it's because of these two features working in tandem, that's why we're even seeing these temperatures drop even further. So here we go. Here's that Arctic air. And this is the polar vortex. Usually we talk about this when we start to see our first cold snap, second cold snap. No, this entire polar vortex is dipping all across the southeast, down into Florida, and then it'll slowly start to dip back up. But it's going to be a while before that happens. So we can see right here that we already have frigid air moving into the region. And it's only enforced because of what's happening here at the surface. So over the next couple of days, not only do we have this massive dip in the jet stream that is just surging cooler air already into the region and across the East Coast, but also we have this low pressure system. So this is going to be a bomb cyclone, and this is going to follow its way up the East Coast, but further pushing in that much cooler air that we have seen, continuing just to cool Florida down. Fox Local will send you to a quick break, but we're going to keep talking about this and where this cold air is originating. And then when you come back, we'll talk a little bit more specifics on when we can see the coldest of the cold. So here's this low pressure system. Areas, especially all across Appalachia, all the way up to the Carolinas, into New England. Last weekend, they saw a huge, massive snowstorm, and they're going to most likely see another one taking a look at this weekend as well. So not only is this system also feeding in this cold air on top of the jet stream already feeding in cold air, but also all of this air is just running over areas that have snow on them. So that's even cooling the air further as it gets fed down here to Florida. So this Arctic air is set to shatter cold temperature records here in Central Florida, but Sunday is going to be the worst of the worst because not only is it going to be cold, it's going to be windy as well. And Saturday, it's going to be the windiest. Heads up if your trash day is on Sunday, or if you try to even put out your trash cans on Sunday like I do, so you don't forget Monday morning. Been there, done that. Your trash cans are probably going to be down the street, so heads up for that. It is really going to be windy on Saturday, Sunday morning, and that's when we're going to be expecting the coldest feels like temperatures, taking a look at the next couple of days. So even though the coldest wind chill is most likely going to be on Sunday, we're still going to be seeing frigid air coming in on Monday as well, and that's going to be Monday morning as it continues. So that's really where this cold air is coming from, and we'll give our folks another minute. But we're seeing a couple people writing in. William saying that favorite way in order to make sure he stays warm during the cold is making hot soup. I agree, and also Marlisa agrees. If you watched the 8 o'clock yesterday, we were talking about our favorite types of soup. A couple of folks writing in. Phyllis writing in, saying hello to all friends and family in Florida. It is 19 degrees right now in Missouri. Phyllis, I'll let you know right now, Missouri is going to be warmer than Florida as we take a look Sunday morning. A little bit of a fun fact for you there. And Elaine Tovett from Massachusetts saying, so sorry Florida is having a cold stretch. We woke up to 5 degrees this morning. I'm looking forward to the storm, maybe getting the Sunday after the 18 inches of snow from last weekend. Hopefully everyone stays warm. Yeah, areas across New England, in my hometown of Abington, Massachusetts, they got 18 inches of snow last week, and this is just going to add on top of that snow. So probably a very, very blustery winter for us there in New England. Okay, so welcome back, folks, from Fox Local. We kind of talked about where the cold was coming from, so now let's kind of talk about the timing. It is beautiful out there right now. That sunshine really worked its magic. We're seeing those temperatures throughout the mid 60s right now, so it's beautiful out there, but we're going to continue to see that cold air just surge into the region as we take a look at the next couple of days. So here's downtown Orlando. Absolutely beautiful, not a cloud in the sky. Can't think of anything better than that. Forecast lows through the rest of the overnight tonight. Nowhere near as cold as what we saw. So if your backyard looks like mine and you're covering all your plants with bed sheets and beach towels and it kind of looks like a blanket for it, yeah, you probably won't need that tonight, but don't take down that setup quite yet. You might want to try to leave it intact because it is going to be cold Sunday and Monday as well. So overnight lows through the overnight tonight, not bad. We kind of get this false warm up. So we see these temperatures rising. It's going to be nice tomorrow. You can probably put away the cold stuff. No, you can't, because we're really going to be seeing much more of that cold, taking a look ahead to the next couple of days. So here's what we're looking at. Here's the timing. For the rest of the day today and through the overnight tonight, crystal clear. So good news there, but then we're going to start to get in some rain. This is on Friday, so we can see this is 10:30 p.m., maybe a couple sprinkles up by Palm Coast. Majority of that rain does start to roll in early Saturday morning. Heads up if you are in really early bird, most likely before dawn, or right at dawn if you're trying to get out early, maybe head to the theme parks. There is going to be some rain. So probably from about 7 a.m. to about 10:30 a.m., we're going to be looking at a good amount of rain as this cold front kind of pushes through. But then after the rain moves in, we're really going to be seeing those winds pick up. I know this weekend is the Mount Dora Arts Festival. It is going to be blustery, and it's going to be that cold wind and rain with this system. So here's Saturday, 1:30 p.m. The rain is out of here, but that wind is going to be blowing. Yeah, you can see it moving in from the left side of your screen. And with that, we could be seeing a couple more of those sprinkles making their way into Tampa. So the forecast wind gusts, this is the big story because this is also going to play a part in how cold it's going to feel taking a look on Sunday morning. So here's that forecast wind gust one more time. Starting on a blustery side, nice breeze, taking a look early Saturday morning. This is 9 a.m. This is as the rain is moving through. As the rain is pushing out, this is when the winds really start to pick up. We go from a nice breeze at about 9 a.m. to 1 p.m., 37 mile per hour winds forecasted here in Central Florida. And it even picks up from there. We're probably looking at 40 to maybe even 50 mile per hour winds in some areas, taking a look ahead to Saturday afternoon before things finally start to calm down Saturday night. But even still, this is Sunday morning. We're looking still at 30 mile per hour winds. So it is really going to be blustery as we take a look Saturday and Sunday for sure. Sunday night is when those winds finally start to mellow out. So why am I harping so much on these winds? Because that's what's going to tank our temperatures even more taking a look on Sunday. So Sunday and Monday, we have a storm team alert, record cold, hard freeze, both Sunday night, Sunday morning, Saturday night into Sunday morning, and Sunday night into Monday morning. So wind chills are going to be feeling like this almost single digits for us here in Central Florida. So let's start off with what is it going to be reading like? So we can see right here. For the AM lows on Sunday morning, it is going to be 24 degrees in Orlando, and it is going to be 21 degrees in Gainesville. So it's already going to be cold. Now again, I was harping on that wind for a reason, because as the wind pushes in, it makes those temperatures feel so much colder than what it already is. And it's going to be feeling like 11 degrees in Orlando. It is going to be feeling like 8 degrees in Gainesville. So what's my point here? If you are heading out Sunday morning, bundle up. Even if you're just going to be going outside for a couple of minutes, allow your car to warm up quite a bit, but it is going to be feeling frigid out there, and I hope everyone is prepared for that, because it is really going to be cold. And that's what's going to be the hardest part about this weekend, is that it's going to feel so cold as soon as you walk out the door. Still feel free to go to any of your plans or anything, but if you're going to plan on staying outside for more than, I'd say, 45 minutes, then it's going to be feeling really cold, and you might put yourself at risk for maybe even getting a little bit of hypothermia. So before you go outside, if you are going out on Sunday morning, hats, gloves, heavy coat. Make sure you have the scarf, anything that you can put on in order to stay warm. do so, because that will be the biggest help for sure if you are planning out on heading out early Sunday morning. And again, this is for wind chills. This was 11 degrees, which is actually a couple degrees lower than what we were forecasting a day ago or two. So lowest wind chills, these are the top 8, and we could be cracking that top 8, maybe even setting out a couple of those numbers, taking a look at the next couple of days. So that's what we're going to be looking at, and how cold it's going to feel as we take a look Sunday morning. Monday morning, more of the same. Temperature is going to be throughout the 20s once again. So it is going to be that 1-2 punch of it's going to be cold, probably not get too much warmer, and then continue to stay cold as we head through the next couple of days. So I bet a lot of folks are going to be asking, what is it going to be like in my hometown? My hometown is not on the map, so where am I? We'll take it to you county by county. So cold timings for areas across Dixie, Gilchrist, Levy, and Alachua counties. It is going to be cold, feeling like the low 20s Sunday morning, but it's going to feel like single digits from 12 a.m. to 10 a.m. Sunday and Monday. So Sunday, late Saturday night, early Sunday morning, late Sunday night, early Monday morning. That's what it's going to be, as well as the winds are going to be very gusty as well. Taking you over to Marion, Lake, and Sumter counties, pretty much the same, feeling a smidge warmer by a degree or two, but ultimately windy, cold Sunday morning for sure. Let's take you over to Volusia and Flagler, as well as Seminole counties. It is really going to be cold once again, same timing, wind gusts probably even a little bit more, 30 to 40 miles per hour, and we're going to be seeing again feels like 6 to 12 degrees in these counties. And then finally, Orange, Brevard, and Osceola County, seeing those wind gusts anywhere between 20 and 35 miles per hour, which I may bump that up a little bit, but region-wide, there is a hypothermia risk. I know we all love to spend time outside here in Florida, so make sure you are bundling up. This is going to be a great weekend to go see the manatees, but it is really going to be cold for sure. So just again, make sure you're doing what you can in order to stay warm. And I know a lot of folks, especially right on the Tampa, Orlando viewing area border, are in Polk County, more of the same, going to keep that hypothermia risk, as well as wind gusts from 25 to 35 miles per hour, taking a look on Saturday and into Sunday. And so that's pretty much what we can see right there. But the best thing that you can do in order to make sure you're staying protected is definitely have your pipes, pools, pets, plants, and people taken care of to make sure you are ready for this cold. Because yeah, it is really going to be chilly over the next couple of days, because it is really just going to be freezing out there between already the cold temperatures as well as the wind that's really going to be roughening things up as well. Fox Local will send you to a quick break again, but we'll kind of just hold on this image for a second. We'll take another look at the comments here on Facebook and on YouTube. And I know we had a question earlier on today, so I was on stream with Garrett at 2 p.m. kind of talking about the cold, doing a big breakdown of that. And somebody asked, should I let my pipes drip? And I'll be totally honest, I spent the beautiful 87-degree day that we had last Sunday doing yard work, planting plants, and again, my backyard totally looks like a blanket fort right now because I had to cover all of those plants. But I was also using a garden hose quite a bit over this weekend as well. So moral of the story, if you have any garden hoses that are outside that you kind of either A, just let run, or B, you have the hose connected, but you might not have the water dripping. If it makes you feel any better, leave that leave that hose at a slow drip. Also leave maybe even your bathroom or your kitchen sink at a slow drip if you're concerned about your pipes. But because this is going to be more of a cold stretch as opposed to a cold snap of something that we're used to, that's really what we're going to need to kind of keep in mind, as well as pools. Lots of folks have pools down here, and it's not cold enough that you need to really winterize your pool every single season here. It does get chilly, but it's no really reason in order to fully winterize, fully cover. So for your pools this weekend, same thing. Make sure they're running, make sure water's going through all the pipes. You don't need to make sure it's like over chlorinated or anything, but for pools in particular, keep them running. It's when water stands still that's when it has the potential to freeze a lot quicker. Same with pipes as well. So leave pipes at a slow drip if you're concerned. Take any garden hoses, maybe even leave the faucet as a slow drip. But get any hoses inside because the rubber can disintegrate, especially in the cold. And then cars especially, that is a big one. Of course, plants, people, if they're sensitive, bring them inside. Pets, make sure they're nice and warm inside. Make sure they have clean water, clean food. People, of course, make sure you're all nice and toasty as well. But a big one that we've been getting a lot of questions about is cars as well. And Fox Local, thanks for coming back from the break. Cars is another big one, especially for us here in Florida. Something that I didn't realize is that a lot of cars don't have seat warmers because you don't need them here. And that's going to be a little bit of an issue because I know a lot of folks live in apartment complexes where they have to park outside. Homes, you have to park outside as well. If you do have your car outside and it's not in like a garage or something, give your car plenty of time to warm up, especially with cold snaps like this. It is really going to be cold out there, and that allows the fluids within your engine, your car, to get thicker. And that going through your engine is not good. It has to make the engine work a million times harder in order to just get started. So have your patience, prepare early, sit in your car for a couple of minutes, wait until the thermometer kind of gets to about halfway before you get on the road. Good news is that we're not looking at any ice here in Florida. So even though you might need to get out the door a little bit earlier just to make sure your car is all warmed up before you hit the road, travel conditions, especially Sunday and Monday, are not going to be treacherous by any means. It's not like you're going to be sliding across the highway. It is going to be dry. So that's the other big thing. Then I've seen a lot on social media over the past couple of days. Are we expecting snow in Florida? And not to dance around the topic, but I will leave you in suspense for just a second. The last time we saw snow here in Central Florida was January 2008. There was light snow and flurries in Volusia and Brevard counties. January 2003, there was also light snow in Brevard and Volusia counties. And then in Christmas of 1989, there was a statewide hard freeze, snow, sleet across Central Florida. I know that there's a couple more instances, but those are like the last, at least recent 3 times, that it has snowed in Florida. And so now let's kind of get into why we will not see snow here in Central Florida. Maybe not Florida in general, but here in Central Florida, we will most likely not be seeing snow. And there's a couple of reasons why. And this is going to look goofy, but that might just need to be okay. So in order for snow to actually happen, it needs to come together like a perfect recipe. And all of these components in the atmosphere need to come together perfectly in order for there to be snow. So for flurries in Florida, and specifically here in Central Florida, we need the cold air, which is the cake, and then we need moisture, which is the icing. So those 2 components need to come together perfectly in order for there to be snow in Central Florida. And so what are we going to have and what aren't we going to have? Of course, I've been talking about this for 25 minutes now. We're going to have the cold for sure, but we're not going to be having the moisture. So unfortunately, we are not going to be seeing snow here in Orange County, Seminole County, in Orlando. We are not going to be seeing snow. Now, that does not mean there's not going to be any snow. And if you are looking for snow, guaranteed, you will have to go up probably about 6 hours, 7 hours. Taking a look, so probably the furthest south you'll be able to see snow is Savannah, Georgia, and northward. So we're probably looking at a good amount of snow right along Cape Cod, as well as on the Outer Banks, as well as in Virginia as well. That's right now the bullseye of where we could be seeing the most snow. But let's kind of talk about here a little bit closer to home. So unfinished graphics, so my apologies for the kind of half graphic that you're about to see. It's kind of an in progress one. That's what we do kind of during on our breaks. We kind of make the next big thing in graphics wise. So here's what we're looking at. It's almost like what we have with our sea breeze storm. So we see this wind coming off the coast. We have this warm ocean water right now, and that gets swept on to the cooler land. And when that cold kind of happens and we see that almost freezing, then we could be seeing the possibility of snow. But most likely, especially near Tampa, there is the possibility where we could be seeing a little bit of freezing precipitation. Now, I say freezing precipitation because it might not be snow, but it still could be a freezing precipitation. So here's the map that we've been showing the past couple of days, or since last night at least. And the possibility for snow in Central Florida is a very, very low chance, taking a look across Tampa and the west coast of Florida. So kind of closing in a little bit more over here. There is a low chance for a Gulf effect snow flurries, which is that wind coming in. But the thing is that winds are starting to switch around a little bit. So we're a little even hesitant on that right now. Things, again, just need to come together so perfectly in order for this to happen. So the possibility of seeing even just a little bit of rain that might look like snow just because it is so fine, that is the possibility, but there could also just be a little bit of that sleet effect, hence being that frozen precipitation. Might not be flurries, but it definitely could be a little bit of that freezing grapple that we could be seeing there. So that's kind of the big picture of what we can see over the next couple of days. Unfortunately, there may be a little bit of, again, that freezing precipitation, taking a look down towards Tampa, maybe up towards Jacksonville, but everything really, if you're looking to see any significant snow, you're going to need to go into Georgia in the Carolinas for that. All right, folks, we'll pop this up one more time. Make sure you get your questions in. We'll be showing these all throughout the rest of the week, as well as through this weekend as well. What questions do you have for us about the cold? Scan that QR code if you can. And folks, again, just make sure you're staying careful, especially with this cold snap. This is something that we are not used to for sure. So just, again, make sure you're just taking the proper precautions to protect you, your pets, your family, plants, pipes, of course, pools. Just make sure, again, you are just taking the proper precautions because it is going to be really chilly. And I'm not talking about that, like, send a little shiver down your spine. Like, no, this is going to be bone-aching cold. So, again, just make sure you're prepared for that. All right, folks, thanks so much for joining in today. If anyone has any questions, please feel free to send it into that QR code, and we will see you again tomorrow here on Fox 35 Weather Plus.